Good morning. Good morning, all. Hello, everyone. Well, today I'm going to try my best to explain to you how to come up with the theoretical framework of your proposal. Okay, you should have with you your assignment 2 close at hand because it will be good to refer to your assignment 2 all the time. Okay, let's start. What is a theoretical framework? Okay. A theoretical framework is a structure that can support a theory to your proposal study. Number 2, the theoretical framework introduces and describes the theory that explains why your research problem exists. Okay? Those are two definitions of a theoretical framework. Next slide. What are the roles played by a theoretical framework? Okay? A theory, or you can use 2 or more theories, which ground your research. The theoretical framework grounds a research by creating boundaries for your research. Okay, if the theory is about ethnicity, then you cannot deviate or go out from discussing about other than ethnicity, right? That is how a theoretical framework grounds your study. Number 2, a theoretical framework guides your research. In similar ways, if the theory talks about critical thinking, your research shouldn't be about something else. Number 3, a theoretical framework determines what you measure in your research. Let's say critical thinking again. It says that it has 3 components: the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor elements. So you are going to measure either 1, 2, or all 3. Okay, so that theory grounds in many ways, it determines your what you are going to measure. Number 4, a theoretical framework determines the relationship you are looking for by doing your research. Let's say you want to add another element to critical thinking, which is we label it as X, right? So so in many ways it determines the relationship you are looking for. You are going to suggest that's another thing. Let's say adding the element, spiritual element to critical thinking or something else. Okay, that is how it determines the relationship. Okay. And lastly, a theoretical framework guides you in constructing your variables and how you understand the relationship between the variables of your research. So this is quite similar to number 4, but I hope you can see how a theoretical framework guides you when you construct your variables for your research. Okay, moving on to the next slide. I'm sure you want to see what I've just explained to you clearly. So I hope by giving you an example, it explains the usage and where theoretical framework stands up in a proposal, in your proposal. Okay. Now let's take Aiman's proposal, right? The title of his proposal is National Defense University of Malaysia, NDUM students perception on ethnic relation in Malaysia. So you see here the research topic as being displayed in the title is ethnic relation in Malaysia. Okay, so what I will do, first I will read up on theories of ethnicity. No doubt there are many theories. You can easily read on them online from journal papers or books, online books. Okay, read up on the theories of ethnicity. Then out of many theories, choose one. Okay, well, I found one which is the functionalist theory of ethnicity. What I will do next is I will read the theory, having in mind that I need to mention in the proposal how the theory is related to my research or the roles that it plays in my research. Okay. Later, I will read again, and this time on, I will write notes because I need to understand what the functionalist theory of ethnicity is all about. So I will read and write notes, and in my mind, apply the theory to the situation in Malaysia. That is, I find the correlation between the theory and the research. Number 4, I will then look back on the rules of theoretical framework and look at my questionnaire. Aiman has to look back at rules, the 5 rules that I just read to you just now, and look at my questionnaire. Okay, do I have questions asking things described in the theories? If the theory says discrimination between groups, are there questions on discrimination? Okay, if the theory says there's a superior group among other groups in a country, is it relevant or similar? The situation, is it relevant or similar in the situation in Malaysia? As what we are having now in Malaysia. So that will sort of define the suitability of the theory to your proposal. And number 5, lastly, I will write a sentence or two on how or what the theory does to the research. Does this theory, the one that I've chosen, does it sort of ground the research? Does it help me in building up my questions? Is it related to the research? All right. So well, I want to share with you the Aiman's hope I can. Okay, can you see that? Okay. Showing with you Aiman's assignment 2. All right. Okay. A theoretical framework is one role, a theory which grounds your research. A theoretical framework grounds the research by creating boundaries to your research. Why is it not recording? Yeah, but I click on this. There?
Yelah, mak kena pergi kat stop share. Tekan stop share dulu. Stop recording. Lepas tu tekan share, lepas tu whole screen balik. Ini tekan whole screen. Jangan tekan macam tu. Sebab mak tukar-tukar kan. If you want to tukar, don't press it, just press screen je. Mak tukar, lepas tu share. Because you want to watching back to your slides.
Okay, we are back. A theory or collection of theories which ground your research. A theoretical framework grounds a research by creating boundaries for your research. So let's see here, let's look at Aiman's assignment 2. The title of the research is National Defense University of Malaysia and UM students' perception on ethnic relation in Malaysia. Okay. These are the research objectives. These are the research questions, see. So the questions are, do NDUM students understand the term of ethnicity? And do NUDM students have the basic knowledge about the ethnics in Malaysia? So two things, yeah, two research questions. And this is the conceptual framework. He wants to know whether the students understand the terms, yeah, the definition and the issues of ethnic relation. And also he wants to know that students have basic knowledge about the ethnics in Malaysia, yeah. Okay, basic knowledge which comprises of ways to apply ethnic relation and how to overcome lack of knowledge on ethnic relation. So let's look, this is the demographic identity of students for questions, and this is about understanding terms related to definition and issues on ethnic relation. Yeah, part B, I have asked him to add more questions on definitions and on issues, and also that's part B. So this is supposed to be part C, right? Let me just correct that. Okay, knowledge. Okay, just now from the conceptual framework, knowledge in terms of ways to apply what? Apply what you know, apply knowledge on ethnic relationship. Okay, and how to overcome, yeah, by maybe campaigns or what. Well, Aiman should have questions like, you know, ways to bond ethnic groups in Malaysia and how to overcome ethnicity problem, right? Okay, I have asked him to add more questions. All right, then the functionalist theory, yeah, I've chosen one theory. Well, first explain the theory and how it is related to your research in general or specifically for a question, okay? First, find a related theory. There are many available online. For instance, for Aiman's proposal, I've chosen the functionalist theory of ethnicity. And then I will read the theory and have in mind that I need to mention in my proposal how the theory is related to my research or what are the roles the theory plays in my research. Okay, so I will read the functionalist view of ethnicity as dysfunction in the society. Ethnicity keeps people back and helps to create discrimination. Yeah, yeah. Is it the same as in Malaysia? When we segregate people as, you know, different ethnic groups like the Malays, the Chinese, does it also create discrimination? Okay, then you will read one by one, right? And then we will write notes, okay? For example, I've written, okay, it says there in the theory, okay, normative version of society, society is desirable society which are composed of nation states which are coherent, modernized, and mainly industrial. So I say, to me, I think when you term normative society, to our Malaysian context, that will be the major ethnic groups, the Malays, the Indians, and the Chinese, okay? And then in the theory also, it describes the fragmented society, the primitive society, the one who lags behind. Maybe, for example, in our country, the indigenous groups, okay, in indigenous society. Then it also says that the country has to have a vision of unifying, of having togetherness in all the ethnic groups. Okay, so what does that do? It will supposedly create a homogeneous society, one which supports the country's vision, okay, to progress. So if you relate it to Malaysia, we have the Satu Malaysia campaign, where we want to work as one. Okay, we don't classify or segregate ourselves, and we work for the country as one nation. See, what you are actually doing is that you read, yeah, you read and understand the theory, and you apply it back to your own, what is being practiced in the country. Okay, that is actually the most difficult part. You can find a theory sometimes, but you can't, when you can't relate, then the theory is of course of no use. Yeah, right. And then I will look back at the roles, yeah, what a theoretical framework does to your proposal. I repeat, the first one, it grounds the research, yeah, it creates boundaries. Number two, guides your research, yeah, it sort of pave the way to what you want to achieve. Number three, it determines your variables or your questions or what you measure in your research. Four, it determines the relationship you are looking for in your research. And lastly, number five, it guides you in constructing your variables, what you want to measure, and understanding the relationship between the variables that you have chosen. Then what I will do is, apart from relating the theory to the present situation in Malaysia, I will then write a sentence or two on what does the theory do to my research. Okay, for example, I can say that the functionalist theory of ethnicity grounds this proposal and determines the relationship between variables in the questionnaire. Okay, so how do I write my theoretical framework paragraph in my proposal, right? Right. Let me do this. Okay. Back here, can see. Right. This is an example for Aiman's proposal. Okay. I will write something like this. Okay, the functionalist theory of ethnicity was first introduced by, okay, the name of the person who came up with this theory. This theory views ethnicity as a dysfunction in the society. It segregates the society into two, which are normative and fragmented societies. The normative societies are those, okay, who are the normative society according to the theory, and the fragmented are those who are the fragmented societies according to the theory. The goal of unification of the society is of dire importance if the country wants to modernize an efficient nation, to be a modernized and efficient nation, hence a homogeneous society. Okay, the country should eliminate ethnic differences through the introduction of nationalism, and education plays an important role, okay, imparting achievement values to the society. Then I will go to how it is related to our own situation in Malaysia. In Malaysia, the major ethnicity groups such as the Malays, Chinese and Indians are the normative society, whereas I will talk about the relationship, how the theory is related to our country, and I will end my theoretical framework paragraph by writing what it is, yeah, to the proposal. Like the functionalist theory of ethnicity grounds this proposal and determines the relationship between variables in the questionnaire. Okay, right? I hope you understand how to write a theoretical framework for your proposal. Someone asked me whether we should have diagrams. Well, if the theory comes in diagrams, then it is better. You will have the diagram first, followed by the paragraph to explain the theory. Someone asked whether they can have more than one theories. Well, you can have a collection of theories, not exceeding 3, right? But the most important thing is that you are able to relate the theories to your proposal. Yeah, it can be directly related. What you are measuring is not in the theory, but you want to prove that there is, like the example I've given before, like you think there's another element to critical thinking and you want to investigate that. Okay, and I guess that's about all. Okay, for those who have handed in your theoretical framework, the assignment 3, I haven't looked at it. I will look at it after this. For those who think that their assignment does not answer the question, well, you have the opportunity to redo the assignment and submit it to me before the end of next week. Okay, I think that is all for this time on. I will see you next time in another video on how to construct your chapter 3. Until then, bye.